Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the blogger site. It's an archive post thingy there, and on Patreon for extra support. And any kind of updates and the such, usually I go about on Twitter, especially with the live stream stuff. Again, I didn't manage to get anything yesterday, not even live stream or anything like that. I had a pretty busy day yesterday, and like late in the day when I was seeing if I could still manage to do a video worth doing. There was not enticing news worth talking about, at least that I tried to check there to make even a late video. So I just dealt with under the hood stuff and behind the scene stuff for the channel on my free spare time, especially trying to work around the VOD stuff there on the streams and the gameplay series there. Today is, yeah, it's Mutiny Zero to Eden. I think it's the final episode, if not mistaken. So it's going to be a wrap up for that game, and we'll see how I can do with Dead Space remake, which is the next series that I'm going to introduce to replace Mutiny Zero. I'm not sure if it's going to be next week or not, but I will try my best to see how could be done. Again, live stream, I cannot promise anything. I always try every day to at least stream a couple of hours. But yeah, just pay attention to my Twitter. When I can, I tweet where I'm streaming, which at this moment is Rumble and YouTube at the same time. So that's that. Let's go for some news. Similarly, ASUS is going to bring a dual fan triple slot 7900 XTX and XT GPUs. They seem whatever. It's dual fan. Supposedly the cooling solution is going to be enough to deal with this GPU, especially with the XTX version. Hopefully they don't have any kind of overheating issues, because the XTX can be a little bit power demanding, and if the cooling solution is not good enough, even though the heatsink they overextend over the PCB, but I don't think that's you can have like a 1 kilometer PCB a PCB cooler, but again, it's a matter of having a good cooling solution, which that includes the fans there. Hopefully they will. It's good enough. This seems pretty thick here on the white side. I think they have a little bit larger fans than usual that we see here. Yeah, but I will assume they are pretty decent. They come with dual BIOS, which is good, and this being DOC variants from the models they're going to bring out. Yeah, I think this is basically in line with the FF one, the one that I have in terms of boost clocks there. I think it's on the same kind of level there. But yeah, both of them have dual BIOS, and they boost pretty high from what I remember in terms of boost clocks there on these GPUs. And yeah, it's going to be a triple slot GPU there. As you can see, where is that little image we had on the side? Not this thing here. Oh my god, here. Sorry. You can see there is yeah, here. You can see that it's a little bit big there. Yeah. Even though here it doesn't seem, but then you have this part here. And of course, always here, you can have a good look here. Yeah, you always have to save at least a slot of free space, so the fans don't get choked. Again, with this kind of big GPUs, always pay attention if your case support this kind of dimensions on the GPUs. Especially now, we'll be seeing a lot of this, the wider stuff. I don't know why they call this the slot wide. This is the wide part of the GPU. It's pretty wide. If you don't pay attention, you might not be able to close the case by itself. But yeah, good to see that that at least ASUS is launching more models, mainly because it's an indication that they are selling relatively well. and we saw some discounts. Regarding the price of these CPUs, they didn't announce anything, but I will expect, given that it's like a new variant of a model, probably a little bit above MSRP. Again, I'm not sure the official MSRP of these CPUs is still. I don't think so. And XTX might be still $1,000 the MSRP, the official one. But I think they downgraded for 800. I think for the XT, but I'm not sure in terms of official MSRP. But they're being sold the XTX around 900 and below in some cases, even AIO's boards there, and the XT I think around 700 something like that, 750 give or take, which is a good price, at least taking in consideration the GPU market. But yeah, basically this is what I got here in terms of gaming. We got some more Elden Ring, especially the DLC stuff news. I think there was some coverage done with Mr. Miyazaki in the Chinese outlets. I saw a video from oh my god, Ziostorm. He covered a little bit the extra juicy stuff because there was a lot of retreading and basically confirmation of information that we already had regarding not only Shadow of the Erdtree, but also the base game itself, like information regarding lore and other stuff, which is one of the things that compels a lot of people going about playing the game. Also, is trying to get clues and hints regarding the lore of that game. But yeah, we again got the confirmation. For example, this is the only DLC for Elden Ring, at least. Yeah, it's concerned. It's the only DLC. Shadow of the Tree is the only DLC. Okay, they didn't leave the door open, but it's something that I already knew. It makes sense. At least might see it as an excuse, but in terms of Miyazaki usually goes about doing things. It didn't make sense given the fact that he mentions that the fact that one of the hooks of the game is the exploration part, because it's a huge world. I'm still basically halfway there. In terms of areas unlocked, I think I'm like 70% off on the base game, but still got a lot of stuff to do in a lot of the areas. But yeah, it's the exploration, just unlocking stuff. When you, especially at the beginning, you unlock Limgrave, then when you go for Kalids and Liurne, you just see the map grow and grow and grow, and a lot of the stuff that is to explore. And it didn't make sense, the fact that one of this exploration is one of the hooks of the game there, especially when you play it for the first time. It's to break down the DLC stuff in several parts, so that's why I suppose they just focus on one big DLC, kind of a chunk content there, because we already know that probably, at least from Miyazaki words, that it will be around Limgrave area, which encompasses Limgrave, all the green area until Stormvale, and also the Weeping Peninsula. That's the whole area of Limgrave. Again, and then you have the underground part there, because supposedly it's going to have some underground dungeons or something like that. And I think it's going to be more populated to a certain degree than Limgrave, even though Limgrave is pretty active in terms of what you can do there. But yeah, this is one of the things that we got confirmation. Only this DLC will be out for DLC. Again, they didn't cut off any possibilities of sequels, let's say, for Elden Ring, so it's not out of possibility for a possible sequel, which is going to be very interesting if they're going to get about it. Yeah, this is the part of the just launching one thing, and again we got again, it doesn't open up too much because it doesn't like to spoil people, but we'll get a lot of stuff regarding some unsolved mysteries on the lore and story stuff there. Especially with a lot of it is revolving Marika, because Marika it's a huge mystery of how she came about to being a god and everything. There is a lot of sketchy details there and a lot of speculation, and this will be we're going to get more information regarding that, and of course Mikola intentions and what he's trying to do there, and we are supposedly going to get a lot of Saint Trina stuff, because the speculation and most likely it's Saint Trina is the alter ego of Mikola, because we got always, especially from Mikola and Melania, we got the alter ego thing happening. Given Melania is the alter ego, let's say it's the goddess, the being goddess of Rot. We got the Rot theme happening. Mikola, we got the Saint Trina with the dream stuff. And then of course we got Marika and Radagon thing happening there also. I think it's very interesting to see what we're going to be shown, and I think the theme is also going to be very heavy on Crucible stuff. I think we're going to get a little bit more information what happened on the Crucible, because the way it's interpreted in game, there is a lot of stuff that happened that we don't have, like we have a good idea, but we don't have like a certainty regarding the speculation there. But yeah, and of course the relationship between Centrina and Mikla, I already mentioned. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what you got there. Again, June 21, May, June, you got less than 2 months now. See if I can get ready for the DLC before that with the live streams there. Regarding other stuff, we got Resident Evil 9. I covered recently that probably there was a leak that was internally delayed the game. Seemingly that is not the case, and this is from the same guy, this column that brought about the internal delays that the game might suffer. Supposedly it's out of it's to be pushed aside, these rumors. Supposedly the new information that these people have is it's going to be revealed pretty soon and probably released next year, probably, usually, I don't know, January. We'll have to wait and see. Supposedly it's already been 7 years in development. Again, it still comes up as it's going to be an open world, similarly to Dragon's Dogma 2, so proper open world, not open areas. It's going to be an open world and you have to delve there, which is interesting. The fact that it's a Resident Evil game having an open world scenario there, and also again it's the engine itself, to see what they could do with that regarding an open world, because it's very interesting. Because the engine itself seems pretty good, especially with the remakes of Resident Evil. The engine looks pretty good in terms of visual fidelity, and usually it runs well overall in terms of things. Again, Dragon's Dogma 2, I think it's an oddity by the fact that the way they programmed, like for example the NPCs, AIs and routines and the such, it overwhelms too much the CPU there. So it's not, I don't think it's exactly the engine itself that it's wrong. It's how they use the resources available for example AI routines and the such. I think it overwhelms too much the CPU, and I think that is something that they might want to it supposedly is going to be ironed out, but it's still a lingering issue on Dragon's Dogma 2. Regarding Final Fantasy, the Rebirth sales are lower than Final Fantasy 16 in the same time period. Again, the Rebirth is only out like a couple of months, and 16 is already been out for a few months already. But again, seemingly they're not being in terms of good sales. Again, I think that the problem with Final Fantasy 7, the remake, is I don't know. I never played the original one, but the sense that I get is probably they shouldn't have split this in a trilogy. From what I know, I think it's going to be a trilogy, the remake here. I think they shouldn't separate it in a trilogy if it is the plan there. And I think they mixed a little bit there and tweaked around the lore stuff and what and the story, what happens on the game. They tweaked around probably enough stuff that people didn't like it. I don't know. And the fact that I think it's a $70 game, which also doesn't help. And the fact that you have a full experience, you have to buy, if it is, I think it's a trilogy. I'm going to stick with the trilogy here for argument's sake. If you're going to have a full experience of the remake there and have to pay $210 for the base game, for the trilogy there, yeah, I think it's a little bit expensive. And I think can take people a little bit off of putting out $70 at a time to play a three-part game. Yeah, at least those are my thoughts. That's why I think we might see a little bit drop on the sales there with the Rebirth one. But yeah, it is what it is. And continuing with Capcom stuff, got Dragon's Dogma 2. We got an official texture patch. It's a mod, basically. Similarly, what it does, it forces the game to always load the highest quality normal maps. So it's not an added thing that it's like a texture pack. What it does is tweak around and makes the game always to load the highest quality normal maps. So while addressing a compression error that can affect all textures, resulting in much higher visual quality in most scenarios with little impact on performance. So basically, because it doesn't have like extra textures or replace the texture, there is no huge impacts on VRAM of the GPU. So I think, and you can see the image, you see clearly, especially how they are presented, the textures there. This is pretty better, way better, at least from this screenshot here. Again, Nexus mod for sure, and again, they are still, I don't know when it comes. The biggest issue is the performance stuff on the cities there, on the high volumes of NPCs. I think it's the biggest issue there, the more lingering one, because the rest, I think, with time will be patched. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And finally, we got an announcement that THQ Nordic digital showcase will be set for August 2nd. So yeah, they're going to have a pretty busy summer with all these digital showcases. Again, I will try to keep my eyes on this one when it comes. But yeah, a lot of stuff happening there. Yeah, in terms of news, what I got, I'm just going through some gaming deals. Been some games that were dropped, some deals for them. Okay, but Nier Replicant and Automata are still on sale until the 8th, so around 6 days more, 60% off on both of them. We got 80s. This is a new drop. Again, this is an excellently or overwhelmingly positive reviewed game, and it's one of those that I like to check out. Again, this is action roguelike with more hack and slash focus, and it's isometric viewpoint. And I think that the lore and how the death thing loop happens here is well integrated in the game. But yeah, I think it's a good buy there. We got also Atomic Heart. It's now sells 55%. Yeah, 55%. And if you don't know if it is something for you, we got the demo there. We got also Mass Effect Legendary Edition, so the trilogy with all the DLC and improved texture quality. Yeah, free games all over for 40 DLC, all story, all armors, all everything. This is part of the EA publisher sale. Okay, and also we got Dead Space Remake. This is a game that I'm playing at the moment that I'm going to be introducing soon enough. Again, now it's 65% off. Again, I think I bought the deluxe edition, if not mistaken, because there is no huge difference here. Yeah, from what I've been playing and recording the episodes, as my main complaint is the vertical stuttering. Usually when you approach like certain areas that the level is loading up in the background, but yeah, you get some stuttering there for sure. I think it's something that they should have been Again, it's the games, the last games not being good in terms of like affecting optimization, because the visual stuff is top notch, and the gameplay mechanics is pretty good. It's basically the performance on loading the levels there in a flick, some vertical stuttering there. Got also Jedi Fallen Order. It's 90% off at this price. I can recommend $4. Even though you got some issues there with performance again, lack of optimization. It's not a horrible experience, but it could be way better in some parts there. And then you got Jedi Survivor. Again, this is an upgrade from Jedi Fallen Order. Not sure if I can recommend it at this point in time, even at 55% off. But it's so far it's a better experience than Fallen Order. A little bit more optimized. Yeah, but it's not. Again, I'm still basically on the beginning. I only have like 10 episodes there, and I didn't do much. So even story-wise, I'm not sure how this will advance. I just hit a point now when we opened we're still in the very beginning there, because I lost a couple of episodes trying to explore some other stuff that is blocked all over the place. So but yeah, it got some additions there. It's a little bit better. That I can tell for sure. And then on GOG we got Alien Isolation, still on sale, 80% off. Again, this is a pretty good deal. We got Dredge, 30% off. Usually it's around this price point, which is good. And then Prey Digital Deluxe Edition. This is a recommendation for me, especially at this price point with the Digital Deluxe Edition. I made a series out of this game. Yeah, pretty good game, pretty good, very underrated game at the time when it came out. Mainly because yeah, it was because of the name of the game there, because it doesn't make a lot of sense being called Prey, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, but still, it's a recommendation for my part. And yeah, basically this is it for today, guys. I will wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon as usual for extra support. At this time, the extra support is more for me to having storage solution for me to be able to get backups of stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.